Our solutions to quiz 6 for Math 243. We have a random sample of 50 United States college professors. 16 of them have blue eyes. So what we have is that p hat is equal to 16 over 50, which you can reduce if you want. That's what, 4 over 25? Well, let's call that, let's be more clever about it. That's 32 over 100, which is 0.32. Anyways, can you conclude that the sampling distribution of the proportion of professors that have blue eyes is approximately normal? Why or why not? Yes, you can. Because, see, our criteria when we have proportions for normality is that we need n times p times 1 minus p to be greater than or equal to 10. And in this case, n is 50. P is 0.32, so maybe I'll do 0.32, and 1 minus 0.32 is 0.68, and if you multiply those out, you get just over 10. Let's see, 0.32 times 0.68 times 50, you get 10.88. So good, it is. And maybe I'll say optional is well, okay, so our book cares that the sample is not too much of the population. So our sample here of 50 has to be less than 1/5 of the total population. So n is less than 0.05 n. So 50 is less than 1.05 times the number of professors, United States college professors, period. There's a ton of them, so this is also true. So I don't know what to write. Maybe a colon here. I don't want a minus because that looks like negative n. So optional is if you state this right here. You don't have to say that. Anyways, find mu of p hat and sigma of p hat. Mu of p hat is not too bad. It ends up it's just equal to p hat, which is 0.32. Sigma of p hat is a little bit trickier. It's the square root of, well, all right, p times 1 minus p over n. Unfortunately, we don't know what p is, but we'll estimate it using p hat. So we'll say it's the square root of 0.32 times 0.68 divided by 50, which is equal to 0.06596. Maybe we'll call it 0.066. Something like that. So I guess that's all for part B. Determine the point estimate and the margin of error for a 95% confidence interval. All right, so our point estimate, this guy right here, is just mu sub p hat, which is equal to 0.32. Our margin of error is going to be z star times sigma of p hat. Z star for a 95% confidence interval is 1.96, and sigma of p hat we found above was 0.066. And if you multiply those together, you get this equals 0.1293, maybe 0.129. Use 3 decimal places. So point estimate, margin of error. All right. Create a confidence interval. Confidence interval is your point estimate plus or minus your margin of error. Okay, my point estimate was 0.32. My margin of error is 0.129. So what I get is that my confidence interval goes from 0.32 minus 0.129. What's that point? Oh, I shouldn't do this in my head. 0.191. 32 minus 12 would be 20. Minus a little bit more would be 19.1. Yeah, that looks right. And then if we add these together, you get 44.9. 0.449. Maybe I'll write. Or 19.1% to 44.9%. Either of these are fine. Oh, and interpret its meaning. All right, I should do that. So what this is saying is we are 95% confident. Maybe interpret its meaning. 95% sure, 95% confident that the proportion of all U.S. college professors with blue eyes is between 19.1 and 44.9%. So that's what this means. And I guess that's the end of this quiz.